So I'm about to talk about this episode 7 of Interview with the Vampire. The thing lay still. Boy, if this ain't my favorite episode, and this is the season finale of episode of season 1. Okay, so we start out this episode, they talking about finding ways to kill Lestat, and it eventually comes around to um they well people have been bringing letters and all kind of stuff to their house, letting them know that they done been noticed. They weird. People know that they ain't aging. They ain't this, and they decide that they gonna leave town. And let me just say this: why they discussing leaving town? And this was one of my favorite scenes in the episode, just by the line that they said. Okay, they was talking about different places they could go, and Louis mentioned Egypt, and Lestat said, the sun worshippers, and that was stuff that's there, and he said those who must be kept. And for people who know a little bit about, the interview and Rice Vampire series, they know who the ones who must be kept are. And for y'all who don't know, it's Queen Akasha and her husband. Which, if you don't know, Queen Akasha is the first ever vampire, and her husband is the first ever vampire that was turned. And I like that they mentioned her. But let's go ahead and get on past this part, because this episode was great. When I tell you this episode was great, I mean this episode was great. Claudia comes up with an idea that they should throw a big party for them leaving, and they mentioned something about who would go. Everybody thinks they're weird, and she said, look what this dude just came, because one dude came to the party, and she said, everyone wants to know about our immortality. And I'm sitting there saying to myself, she right. They want to know. And in the present time, Malloy asked Louis how to kill vampires. And Louis mentioned this, in some ways, starvation, decapitation, fire, and drinking the blood of the undead. And drinking the blood of the undead is right there. It got me thinking right there, because this what they gonna do. This what they wanted to do. Okay, Claudia told Louis she was holding back the plan throughout the whole episode, most of the episode, and she told Louis she was gonna, get some kind of medicine or something to make it seem like the person that she was trying to feed, want Lestat to feed from, was drunk, but he wasn't. He would be dead. So told Louis she was giving it to one of the twins, because there's some twins at the party, and this big party going on, and they enjoying themselves. And Louis, he getting looped back into Lestat, whatever. He getting looped back in with him. But at the ball, she said she chose one of the twins, and she was going around giving people some pen. They were giving people pens and telling them that they stay after, they was gonna show them the way of immortality. And they said they were getting all the greedy people, the ones who, you know, want eternal life, want this, want that. And just the scenario itself, in the ballroom, they handing people these pens, and one dude, I'm trying to remember what the dude's name was, but it was, um, it was Tom Anderson who now she said she was part of one of the twins, but come to find out, Lestat has been had Antoinette follow him. That's how he know that Claudia was leaving. That's how went on. He got in there, and they had the twin sitting up like he was dead. And Lestat said, "This one, he's a drunk one," and he thought, he said, "I know about this," and he called Antoinette in, and she said that she got that drug, gonna give it to him, and Lestat, punctured his neck, and that's how he know. He said, something wrong right here, and doggone Antoinette came in, and she was telling about how they drugged the twin to try to get him to drink dead man's blood. Turns round, Claudia is smarter than your average child, average vampire. She done gone gave the drug to Tom Anderson, and done gone Lestat up in there done drunk. Tom Anderson, he drinking it and didn't know. See, because done gone Claudia done outfoxed them. She done outsmarted them. And done gone, and not just that, they were, when all of them was sitting around and they was telling them immortality, and they was talking about how old they were. Claudia said she was 30 something. Louis said he was 61, I think, and Lestat was 180. And they just started attacking everybody, started drinking their blood. Them greedy folks, they get round by hurting the poor and doing in everybody else. So, Lestat and Claudia and Louis didn't have a problem with killing them. Okay, so Claudia stuck Antoinette in the chest with a fire poker, and as Lestat is on his knees choking from the dead man's blood, Louis goes over there and cut his throat. And it goes hop into a scene from the present with Malloy, and then it goes back to them, and they burn Antoinette's body. And Louis was talking about how him and Claudia could not burn Lestat. Okay, and then it went back to Malloy, and he said, "No, you could not burn Lestat. Claudia could. She just stuck the pen in his blood and wrote his final words in her journal. You could not kill Lestat, but Claudia could." And it goes back to the scene. Claudia was telling Louis that they need to burn Lestat's body, and Louis grabbed her around the neck. And Malloy mentioned that during this time, a big point in time, Claudia, after that Claudia was writing, it seemed like she hated Louis. Yeah, that's because Louis would not let her burn Lestat's body. Louis threw him in the garbage and carried and the garbage man carried him out to a field, and this dude was eating on rats and got his strength back from eating on rats. But here is the kicker. Here is the big part of the whole episode. When Daniel started accusing Louis of leaving Lestat where he could feed on them rats. And they was talking about it. Bear in mind, at the end of episode 6, my Lord was having that dream, and he remembered that he was seeing Rashid back then in the 1970s. Doggone, he was accusing Louis, and he was bashing Louis, and he was accusing Louis and dogging Louis out. Then all of a sudden, Rashid's eyes turned red, and this dude started levitating in the air. And he told Daniel, my Lord, I saved you once back in 1970 something. And along the lines of, look like I will have to do it again. 500 years of living, and I have seen all types of things. You do not know the whole story, my Lord. And doggone, Louis stood up and told my Lord, well, meet, I would like to introduce you to the love of my life, Ahmad. And I was just talking about Ahmad a couple episodes ago. I was saying, I wonder when he gonna come. This whole time, I've been looking at Ahmad, seeing him, and didn't even know his him. This was a big twist to me. I did not know they was gonna do it like this. I'm a somewhat fan of the Vampire Chronicles universe, but I'm not a diehard fan, know everything about it. But they changed a lot of stuff. I don't believe this way it was in the book. It most definitely wasn't like this in the movie. But when he revealed that he was Ahmad, I said, it was throwing little hints like this throughout the entire series. When Malloy told Rashid that there was a different intellect of Arab that he was speaking, and I said, yeah, it don't make sense. And also when he was having that dream and remembered that he seen Rashid in 1970 something. So I'm thinking, some kind of way, that Rashid was a familiar that didn't age. No. And Malloy also mentioned before that to Louis, how does someone you feed off of who is bigger than, probably about a son so many pounds, I forget how many pounds he said, pass out when you feed, but you fed on Rashid and he kept moving like it wasn't even nothing. That's why Rashid is a 500-year-old vampire, not named Rashid, but named Ahmad. This episode, this episode was so great. I said myself, and this episode, this video right here is gonna be longer because this episode was something else. I love this episode. It's a fitting finale to season 1. I can't wait to see what season 2 has to offer. I ain't even gonna lie. I wish season 2 were coming out tomorrow. This episode right here, best episode of the season, hands down. I'll give this episode a 9 out of 10. A 9 out of 10 all day, every day. The whole concept of this episode was great. The way the actors was in this episode was great. It pushed my expectations and further beyond. Okay, My expectations were over 9,000. Okay, this episode was crazy. I cannot wait. And to tell the truth, I can't remember was Louis in Queen of the Damn movie, because I wasn't a huge fan of Queen of the Damn movie, but I can't remember if they had someone playing Louis in that. But from the first movie, I mean the Interview with a Vampire, I'm liking the changes in it. I'm liking the changes in it. And Armand came into Louis' life at a dark point in his life. I mean, no, he came in, when he came into Louis' life, it started a dark point. So I actually want to see how they are going to do it in the TV show. So I ain't going to say what happened, all that, but I want to see how they do it in the TV show. And I did not expect them to bring in, like I said, I did not read all the books. I have read some lore about her Anne Rice's world. So I do not know whether Louis and Armand were lovers in the books or whatever, but or what other relationship they had in the book besides that dark point that is coming up that I was telling you about. But this episode was great. 10 out of 10 all day. I can't wait to see where they're taking this series. I can't wait to see what's going to happen in the next season. But yeah, the season finale of season 1. This was a great episode. And I can't wait to see what they got coming next. So until next time, I'll see you later.